You know what? I'm going to do grain earlier and the record earlier.
Okay.
Ah, dang it. Ah, sorry. Oh.
It's okay, sir. It's okay. Everything is good and fine.
I know. I just clicked something and it just wasted time now. It's just unnecessary. I do believe we are live, Beena. I just have to fix it
Okay.
for Instagram.
Okay.
I accidentally
Okay.
unlived Instagram. So
Okay, no problem. Hello and welcome to Moreness-Culture. Good morning, Syl. And how are you? I know
wow,
you
I'm
are
good.
busy.
Uh, yes, very busy, but also very good. Also very good.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
energy is very magical. Energy
Yes.
is very magical. Let me repeat that. And
Yes.
as such, I slept better than I have for a long while. And
That's
that's a
good.
big deal. That's a big deal. So I have good energy today. And when you have good energy, things happen. Yes,
Yes.
things happen.
Yes.
And what happened is uh, somebody, a dear special friend, wonderful, marvelous friend, texted me, just, things sharing and just the particular love of our friendship came up, right? Oh, I must admit grain. There we go. And as such, there was some discussion on it, and so I elaborated on it. And because I have energy today, my elaboration came as a moreness, right? And I recognized it. And in that my elaboration had power to it. And as I was typing, I realized this, and I had to go, and there was a bit of time pressure on me. And I said to Beena, because Beena was on Zoom with me, and someone said, I got to finish this. This is coming, and it's got moreness to it, and there's power to it. Anyway, so I finished my text to my friend, but then I thought, wow, I'm sharing a lot that applies not only to this particular friend, but with a bit of adjustment, applies to all my friends. And then I was going to send it to Beena, again, attunement, and in the adjusted form, and I did slightly, it's not much, but and then I sent it, but I accidentally sent it to somebody else, to another friend, and I said, "Oh, that's very sweet of you. It's just a new poem." Oh, sorry, it wasn't meant for you, but it applies as well. And then I thought, wow, I wrote it out as prose. Let me reformat it into the poem form. And when you do, it's kind of like editing it and fine tuning it, and then it gets adjusted and tweaked and enhanced. And so I did that. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I'll title it to all my friends. Yeah. And that will become the and it's capital F, friends. Right? And I want to read that poem. I'm going to read it in a moment. Yeah. I just wanna to all my friends.
And you are not sharing your video, sir.
No, I know. I'm going to. Oh, my video. Yes. Uh, right. My video is not on. Oh, that means I must change my virtual background. Let me do that first. Then it's not confusing. Oh, see, I was so busy with this, and I was busy editing, and I said to me, no, it will only be a minute or two, but my sense of time is a bit peculiar when I'm doing things. It only felt like a minute or two to me, but it probably was. Took more than half an hour to edit it. Yeah, probably almost an hour. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. I'm very happy with my sense of time. It's a magical thing, when I get involved and immersed. It feels so quick. I can do some things and I feel like I've been there 5-10 minutes and I've literally been the whole day involved. It's just most wondrous. It's most wondrous. All right. Very interesting background choice today. Just how they came. I have a bunch in a file and I typically just go with the next one as appropriate. And there we go. All right, I'm going to put my video on. There we go. There we go. There you go. Brilliant. Beena, any thoughts? Oh, I haven't shared anything yet. So, all right, please share, Beena. I need to take care of the sharing real quick. Just to share it to group and share it to page and so on. And that won't take me long. So,
No problem.
what
No
do you
problem.
think
Yes.
about just Anyway, you just share whatever is appropriate.
Again, it is coming via attunement, and attunement is a big, huge deal in our lives
Oh
because
yeah.
it just went there, but okay, wherever it was meant to be. And as you mentioned that with few adjustments, things are almost same because love and respect is mutual,
Exactly.
and of course we share with
Exactly.
everyone. So
Exactly.
yes, why not? So this is a beauty and magic of openness and moreness, and also living clearly. I don't
Yes.
know the exact word. Yes, impeccability, of course, but also sometimes being able to be who you are all the time with everyone is massive. It's really huge. It's so energy
Yeah.
efficient, and not only
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
efficient, but
Repeat that,
also
please, Beena.
I was
Being
just saying
being able to be
being able to live clearly and to be able to who you are with everyone
to
exactly
be
the
who
same.
you are with everyone.
Yeah,
Yes, it's powerful.
is a big huge deal because
Yeah.
now you don't need
Yeah.
to worry about things. What you are saying, what you are sharing, what you are doing is who you are. You don't care about manipulating things, so you don't need to remember anything. You don't need to pay attention to like, okay, yes, I need to be, because you are taking appropriateness, capital A appropriateness, at the core in your being. And when once you acquire capital A appropriateness in your being,
Yeah.
you don't need to change and adjust all the time. You don't need to invest your energy and actually waste your energy in all these nonsense. You're
Yeah.
always free, always happy, always at the same level of energy. We don't pay attention to. We always think of, okay, we are having this deficiency. Because of this I'm feeling lethargic, or maybe I have some disease, that's why I'm feeling lethargic and I'm feeling so drained. But we never pay attention to that how much energy we are investing, we are wasting in all sort of things, to make up things, to build up things, to always trying to maintain a facade we have created. It takes whole lot of energy, and we hardly pay attention to that they are energy consuming way of being. And unfortunately we do have in like, okay, majority of our life and our interaction, um, they just consume energy just because of this, that we have something which we have to maintain and we have to build. If you are not in living according to impeccability, or okay, you're not living impeccably, in other words, then you are wasting and you are investing a lot of energy in things which are not going to pay back your energy anyway. No,
Yeah.
it needs a
Yeah.
lot of energy to maintain a facade, really. Once you get out of this, that okay, no, I don't need to, then you feel so free and so energized also. That's why
Right.
when you get rid of
Right.
this, then you have more energy to learn and grow.
Beena, will you summarize what you said again, please? We started on Instagram very late.
Okay.
So
Okay.
hi everybody on IG.
Hello,
Beena
everyone.
will summarize what she said,
Okay.
please.
So I was just sharing that because it's something happened interesting. Syl shared that before, that he's supposed to send something specific to one of his friend, but it went to someone else. Also, they are
Well, I was
also
going to
friends.
send it to you, Beena, and it went to somebody else. Well, yeah.
Okay,
Anyway.
it doesn't matter that, okay, whoever you were
All
sending,
right.
so
Right.
it was
Right.
just
Yeah.
happened. So I was not getting into it specific, which was okay. He was
Oh,
supposed to
sorry.
send it
Sorry.
to me, but it went to someone else also.
Yeah.
They are also a friend. And Sil was saying that, okay, with few adjustment, because uh, with everyone you have some, of course, some personal details, like, okay, yes, we know that,
Exactly.
okay, what we are
Exactly.
talking about, some incident happened or something we were sharing together.
Right.
So they don't
Right.
know. So that type of adjustment was needed actually.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
Exactly.
everything is
Exactly.
same. So and then he says that okay, it's okay. I just shared that, and of course we got a wonderful response that oh, is it a poem? And then Syl actually made it that. So attunement was coming, working very beautifully in this sense. I was just saying that once you start
Oh,
living impeccably, or at least try to, I can say about myself, I'm just trying. So
no,
once you
no.
try that, and you don't get into any nonsense, any manipulation, any nonsense. I mean by nonsense, I mean that okay, creating a facade,
Yeah, or
trying
foolishness,
to
or
project
yeah,
who you
indulgence. Yeah.
are not actually, and just
No.
adapting things superficially, artificially, cosmetically. You are just doing all these things. It takes a lot of energy because you have to memorize all those things, you have to remember all those things, you have to keep repeating all those things to make it sound like genuine. And of course your heart, your mind, your body, your being is aware that it is not true when it's a struggle always going on. So I was saying that okay, false lives, living a false life is so energy consuming, really, really very energy consuming. So we
Oh, it's
always think
horrible.
about
Yeah.
different deficiencies, that oh, I might have this vitamin or mineral deficiency, that's why I'm feeling tired. Just pay attention,
Yes,
maybe
what most people have is an integrity deficiency and an honesty,
exactly.
self-honesty deficiency.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you for putting it in right words, precise words. That yes, sometimes we do actually get deficient in self-honesty, honesty in general, integrity, and of course due respect, which in other means impeccability, and which makes us very tired all the time. And we
Yeah,
feel that oh
yeah,
my God, I
yeah,
might be like
yeah.
dying, I might be falling sick, and all sort of things. But please do pay attention to where you are investing your energy, where you are wasting your energy. This is what I was saying before. It took a lot of time, so I tried to keep it short, but
Oh
it
no,
was
no,
not.
I'm ready. I'm ready. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
So now
I
you're
have.
going to.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
so
going to
today.
read. I'll explain in a moment. I'll explain in a
Okay,
moment.
so
Yeah.
today, of course, we are going to do the capital R reading of Don Juan's books, but we are also having a good, very good, pleasant
The
surprise from
books
Syl.
about Don Juan. They're not his
Again,
books. You keep
books
saying that.
about Don Juan. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. I'll
get
try
it
to
right.
remember it. Yes, books about Don Juan, and today we have a small little surprise from Syl, and just I hope that because I saw the title, I
Yeah,
assume that it is going to be very pleasant, and we'll have a lot of moreness. It
yeah,
is,
yeah,
again, without reading it, I'm just saying that okay, it's an idea, it's a way of
yeah,
life, it's a way of being. Syl is going to share what he believes in, what he trusts in, and what he really are, he
yeah,
really is. So this is something
yeah.
Syl is going to share with us. So please, Syl, share screen, and we are waiting for that.
Ah, you're breaking up, Beena. Oh, there we go. Yeah, yeah. I'll say in a moment. I just want to say, Christopher, hi, said hello and good morning, Christopher.
Hello.
He said,
Hello,
good, good,
Christopher.
good. He said, good, Dudley Moreness. Not quite sure what that means exactly, but happy that you're here. Happy that you're here. And I see it saying to me, I never looked at this before. It said there are two live viewers. So beside Christopher Abbott, there's somebody else. Hello to whoever you are. I appreciate comments because that lets me know. And I always feel like now I know there's somebody there specifically. And that changes my communication, right? So it does matter. I'm not sure how to access the live to comment to Christopher. I was going to respond, but all right, we'll have to just wait. What I wanted to do is, like I said, something came up in a very special, wondrous, dear, magical friend was sharing some thoughts about love in general, right? Well, I love in our relationship, not just and love in general. And so it brought stuff out of me. And I shared with my friend, my dear, special, wondrous, marvelous friend. And I shared with him, and it was very specifically particular to them, but also much came out about how I am and how I love. Because how I love, it's somewhat different maybe to the typical. Uh, and then I said, and then as Beena said earlier, I was telling Beena about this because we had to come on and do the show. Well, before that, I was telling her about it. I said, "Oh, I'll send it to you because I'm going to make it into a post because it's really kind of cool. I'll make it more general." And so I did, and then I sent it to Beena, but accidentally sent it to another friend, a third friend. It's like, oh, okay, well. And they said, "Wow, that's very sweet of you. Is this a new poem?" Well, I didn't really think of making it into a poem, but let me format it into a poem, which, of course, poems have their own mechanics and formatting and style and appropriateness. They have their own appropriateness, at least according to me. So I did. I adjusted it and tweaked it and put some work into it. And well, that's why we were late today because it's like I said to me, "No, I'm nearly done." She said, "Oh, come, it's time." All right. But I said, "I'll only be a few minutes." So anyway, it turned out to be almost an hour's worth of formatting it, reformatting it. But that's just how it goes. It doesn't feel that long to me, but that's just how it goes for me. All right, I want to share this now, and I'll screen share in a moment. And this is, the poem is titled "To All My Friends." And this really apply, and it's capital F friends, right? To all my capital F friends. And to me, friends are very important. They're a big deal. And yes, I capitalize friend because, well, I know a lot of people, and they might say, well, I'm friends with so. But being friends with somebody is not necessarily the same as them being a friend, a capital F friend. Now, a capital F friend doesn't mean they're your bestie necessarily. No, it just means that there is a moreness to the relationship. Yeah, and that moreness is a very big deal. That moreness is a very big deal. Now, that also a capital F friend, it does not necessarily mean you hanging out all the time and connecting. No, you may talk to each other once in a decade. Doesn't matter, right? And there's just moreness involved. Just moreness involved, and that is wonderful. Now, what makes a capital F friend for me is, of course, that the friendship has come about via attunement. And the poem will say more on this. Right, so here's my poem. To all my friends. Actually, I think I need to change this to say to all my capital F friends. Because, it's not automatic. It's just in the title, it's capitalized. To all my capital F friends. Here we go. I'm a different person. One of the reasons you love me, one of my strengths as a human being, is that I'm able to love whom I choose. I don't use this ability in general because I have long, long since given up trusting my own judgments and choices. Thus, I switched to living via attunement, only using my love ability on who and what attunement brings into my life. You came into my life via attunement. Therefore, I love you. Very, very simple. You are a very special friend, whom I love as a very special friend. Simple. You are lovable. Therefore, it's easy and a joy to love you. Sometimes, when you become immersed in doubt, my love requires some patience, another skill and ability I've accomplished. Therefore, I love you, continue to love you, and will always love you, because what attunement brings is sacred, profound, special, important, magical. The why, completely irrelevant. One of the skills needed for living via attunement, acting without agenda. I have also accomplished, not easily. Over the years of my life, since a young man, when I started living via attunement, I have done many things where I had no reason whatsoever, but did anyway, because of attunement. Sometimes I came to see why later, sometimes much, much later, and always, always the why most wonderful and profound. However, nothing changes when it comes to acting without agenda. Attunement is about impeccability, doing what's right according to our own inner deepest heart, conscience, and spirit. So it matters not a whit what the reasons may be. I know they are profound, and that's more than enough. I do not need to know the details, although nice to discover why, even if every now and then, but just bonus, not needed. Thus, you can enjoy my love, celebrate that love, because it's pure. It's love of you without any agenda whatsoever, just pure love. As you came into my life via attunement, most sacred and profound to me, commanding my full and deepest respect. Not all who come into my life via attunement are to be loved in such ways. The specifics particular to each individual, part of the attunement of friendship, is loving you in whatever wondrous way that will be. Part of the attunement of friendship is loving you in whatever wondrous way that will be and is. Others come into my life via attunement. What's required of me is different every time. Loving them usually part of the attunement. With others, very, very few have come into my life as close relationships. Others, very, very few, have come into my life as close relationships. Yet love's still optional, not a requirement from attunement, since, of course, love has to always be choice. But in your case, strongly encouraged, suggested, and prompted by attunement. And of course, a massive joy, as what attunement brings, especially when it's with emphasis, as you are, is a magical joy and pleasure. As you also say, many, many kinds of love. To me, with you, all I can say, it is pure love. That's it. Just love, love, love. Hope that clears things up and is of help in assuaging your doubts. Don't trust me, trust the universe, which has conspired with us to bring about this magical attunement and this marvelous love. Our only requirement is to do and to enjoy. That's it. Why does not matter in the least. Love is always an act of profound capital T trust. Never can love be a certainty. Then choice would be removed. Never can love be a certainty. Then choice would be removed. Thus, the lesson is to trust, 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 which always means we are at all times being impeccable, which means no doubts, no complaints, no recriminations, no expectations, no demands, and making all due effort of what's required. Impeccability and capital T trust always go together, as they are interdependent. Love is always a capital C choice, each and every moment. What makes it so special? True love can never be an expectation or certainty, as that would rob love of its glorious magic. The end. Nothing from Beena? Oh.
No, I was waiting. I was waiting. Maybe that it's a delay.
Saying the end. I was handing it over to you to comment. There's nothing more to say for me.
So beautiful. Would you please just go back to what it was about? Choice, love.
Love is always a capital C choice, each and every moment. What makes it so special? What makes love so special?
So this is so important.
All right. Our only requirement is to enjoy. That's it. Why does not matter in the least. Love is always an act of profound capital T trust. Never can love be a certainty. Then choice
Yes.
would be removed. Is this the part that you wanted?
Yes, yes, yes,
Never.
yes.
That's why I copied that and added in as a repeat, right? So love is always an act of profound capital T trust. Never can love be a certainty, then choice would be removed. Never can love be a certainty, then choice would be removed. I think I must emphasize, italicize that second never there. So anyway, you're seeing some of the process of writing and sharing and making sure that that what you are saying is what you are meaning, what you are intending, having
Yes,
it all be together. And so this
yes,
fiddling, when I put, the formatting and putting it in italics and emphasis and commas and all this, it's about getting that connection between what you really, really want to say, what's deep inside you, and the actual expression of it, because it's difficult to say what's inside you, because that's much larger than the words usually. But good poetry, it comes close to connecting that moreness that's inside you and the moreness
yes,
that's outside you also, right? When you can connect your inner moreness to the external moreness, to the ineffable, that's when you get really good poetry, right? And this is, this is as free verse poetry, not rhyming poetry, but the formatting is what makes it there. And it's amazing, if you read the prose, you'll see how much that I took out of it, just by way of, in prose there's a lot of redundancy, a lot of unnecessariness, and you can say things differently. So poetry has a very powerful magic here. But does that answer your question, right, Beena? Never
yeah.
can love be a certainty, then choice would be removed. That's a very huge point in here, right? I mean, there's a capital P point, right? There's a moreness,
Yes,
there's a moreness
yes,
awareness, there's a moreness understanding. It's very big deal, very, very big deal, very big deal. This is huge. This is huge. Yeah, yeah. All right, brilliant.
yes. I'm just thinking about this again because certainty and of course trust, they both are so huge. We need to have this is kind of like, okay, not necessarily innate need for human to have certainty in life, because but this is something we always strive for
yeah,
all our life, where we just keep doing things to find some certainty. And
yeah.
of course life
Exactly,
is not certain, so that's
exactly,
why
exactly,
so
exactly.
that's why certainty is so important
Yeah,
and precious to human.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
we can acquire it or not. This is a different question. Of course, this is a different deal. But yes, it is very important. And when it comes
Yeah,
to love, uh, automatically we just associate this that okay, we need some certainty into this also. Um, but again, what type of certainty we are looking for, that's the whole chaos, the whole drama and the mystery
yeah,
about love, that people and the disappointment and of course the heartbreak and the trauma and everything, it happens because nothing is certain. And when people have this thing and that okay, the idea of having the certainty, that because forever, the
yeah.
idea, okay, and they live, okay, I'm using a very cliche thing or very typical that, okay, and they live happily forever. This idea was forever after, and just give us that, okay, oh, things are going to be very
Certainty.
certain.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. And certainty, in other words, we never actually pay attention to that. It is kind of like being stagnant,
yeah, yeah,
but we don't pay
yeah,
attention to that. That one
yeah.
thing, once things are going to be done
Exactly.
exactly like frozen in resin, then
Ah.
how you are going to grow and have bonus, right?
Exactly. And you know what Fine says about certainty? Yes, Fine Noble.
Yes, yes,
Fine
say it
says.
again, please.
I say, and of course, you know what Fine says about certainty. Fine says certainty, the most futile quest. Isn't that a cool quote? Isn't that a cool quote from Fine? It's so perfect. Fine Noble is a character in my Biella series stories, right? And fine has this. I mean, his name is fine. All the new nobility, once they become new nobility, their last names change to noble, and it's a copyrighted name. It's owned by the new nobility corporation. So anyway, it's a very long story. Very long story. Anyway, but fine noble has the skill of succinctly condensing essence. Yes. And to be able to
Yes.
express it and articulate it. Like in this case, look how that so perfectly sums up what we're saying about certainty. Yes, that Beena was saying it's very precious, but yet it's a futile quest. Yes, and when we realize this, we stop questing for certainty, and we start to live in capital T trust, which is living in impeccability, living with impeccability, living impeccably. You cannot have capital T trust without impeccability. Right? This is
Exactly.
what makes capital T trust capital T trust. It is the foundation of impeccability. And how it comes about, just to elaborate, you are impeccable, which means you do everything you can do. You're conscientious, you are diligent, you are thorough, you are disciplined, you are scrupulous, you do all your due diligence, your research, etc. You do whatever you can. You go above and beyond what your known limits are. Yeah, because that's it. We say, well, I did my best. Well, sometimes your best is not good enough, and you have to extend your best, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it's kind of an excuse sometimes. Oh, well, I did my best. Well, you know what? Did you ever think that you can improve upon your best, that you can extend your best, you can enhance your best, you can radically, completely jump way past your best? I've seen that happen many, many times. I know it's happened in my life many times. So don't let your best be a limitation. Yes, your best is not a limitation. It's only a temporary state of being. Now, impeccability says you do all of this. When you've done all of that, and still you're not where you want to be, you haven't, yeah, then you say, well, all I can do now is trust. Trust is the
Hmm.
very, very last thing you do when you've done everything else you can do. Part of your impeccability says, I now have to trust. I have no other choice. Right? I've done everything I can do. All that's left is for me to trust. And that's part of your impeccability then, is to have that capital T trust, that things will work out as appropriate. I may not always understand that appropriateness, yes, but this is key to understand. It's as capital A appropriate in the greater scheme of things. When what happens, I, again, capital T trust, that's what happening is appropriate. I might not see the full context. I might not understand why, but I trust that it is. And I look for the why. I figure out why. Yeah? And then I see it. This always happens every single time. Yeah? And it's the most magical thing. And this understanding that impeccability and trust go hand in hand is incredibly powerful. If we do not live in trust, capital T trust, we live with uncertainty, we live with doubt, we live with fear. Yeah. And trust, capital T trust, is a way of getting rid of all of that. Yeah. Why? Because it's about living impeccably. Impeccability is about getting rid of those doubts, about getting rid of any possibility of regret or remorse or recrimination. None. Particularly self-recrimination. When you've acted impeccably, there's no possibility of regret or remorse or doubt or recrimination or anything like that. None. None. What happens, happens. Yeah? And you can be fully assured that it's all good, right? You did your part. It may turn out to be a great big mess, but if you're impeccable, so be it. And you trust that there's some moreness to it that you don't know. Very, very, very profound and very cool. And this part of this impeccability, right? I went off on capital T trust a little bit. It wasn't quite connected to my poem. My poem is about a particular choice that I make. I choose to love in my friendships. It's not required. My friendships come about via attunement because I live via attunement, right? So there's no doubt that who is my friend there's a specialness to it, a moreness to various degrees, right? Every interaction is unique and particular, right? And has its own requirements. In some, the love is is first and foremost. And it's a big deal. And that's the main part of the friendship. And it's all about that. In other parts of the friendship, it's learning and growing and sharing and all sorts of magical things. And of course, love. But it's not necessarily the primary thing, right? And others, the friendships they can be deep and intense, but they can also be, every now and then. Everyone varies. But I was saying, for me personally, I am able to love who I choose. It's a skill. It's an ability that I have cultivated and developed. It came about, again, as everything, via attunement. But just because I have that skill doesn't mean I apply it willy-nilly everywhere. No, again, always, as in everything, as appropriate, right? As appropriate. But I have that ability. And, when you have such an ability that you can choose to love, two things. One, being able to love who you choose, what you choose. This is a tremendous, tremendous boon and benefit and gain. And it's just a marvelously wonderful ability. And on the reverse side, that it means also that me being able to, when I do love, that I'm aware that love is a choice. And because I'm choosing to love, I continue to choose to love constantly, every moment. Because to me, that is what love is. The moment you start taking love for granted, the moment love starts to become a habit, it stops being, to me, real, true love. Yeah? Actual, real love. Yeah? It diminishes it. And when it becomes a habit, when it becomes second nature, no, your love has got to be deliberate. This is what makes it love. Yes, Beena?
I'm just still amazed by the moreness of love is a choice.
Yeah. Has to be. It has to be a choice. It just not is.
Has
it
to
has
be,
to
yes.
be.
Oh, it has to be, yes. 100% agree. But it is a choice always.
Yeah.
I just want to think more about it, because
Wonderful.
then you are actually ruining all the literature, whether romantic literature, romance literature, that love at first sight, and they were helpless and powerless in love and all that. This is actually, you are demolishing all the beautiful poems and novels and stories about love, because the main point was that the people were actually helpless.
Right. They were
Absolutely.
like infected by love. That's attunement,
Yes.
not love itself. Right. Now, I'm making a very, very fine point of distinction. What people take when they fall in love and they take as, oh, this is love, and they miss. Yes, it is love, but it's actually what they're talking about is actually attunement, that infection, that virus, that overcoming of you, that I can't really help it. That's really attunement. Yeah. Force of circumstance. The love part is actually choice. Yeah. I amended that line, Beena. It said, impeccability and the stanza, impeccability and capital T trust always go together as they are interdependent. Love is always emphasized, always a capital C choice, each and every moment. What makes love so special? But I adjusted it. I said, love is always a capital C choice, deliberate, each and every moment. What makes love so special? Yeah.
Wow. It's a very different idea, Syl. Let it. I just want to let it sit with me,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
and at some point, of course, I'm going to come back. Love is always
Well,
like that. Okay, just to
yeah.
share with you guys that we have been discussing this, like, okay, on and off. It is a continuous
Oh,
process,
it's an ongoing theme.
continuous sharing.
Absolutely.
We have that. And I was, at some point, I was really moved by some points my friends were sharing, and I was like, what is love? So okay, I wrote that article about this, and I try to understand that, okay, what love is for me. Of course, I cannot say it on other people's behalf, that what is love for them. But one thing is very clear: we have this idea that love and romance is same. They are not, actually. They are
Not the
completely
same.
not the
Not the
same at
same
all.
at all.
The
No,
romance
not
is
the same.
completely different, and love is
Correct.
completely different. And
Correct.
most of the
Correct.
time, we do get confused with romance and love, which
Right.
is
So,
sorry,
right.
a very, very uh,
Yeah.
brutal, or a very kind of like a devastating kind of a
Oh,
confusion,
oh,
because the
right.
implications are very, can be very horrible. Okay.
Yes. Yes. And also, just to be clear, of course, that what I'm talking about here, capital L, love, this has got nothing to do with romance, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Absolutely nothing. It's not even,
Whenever we say love,
yeah, I
whenever
mean,
we say
right.
love, it has nothing to do with
Correct.
romance.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Okay. Romance is something, of course, different. Again,
Yeah.
people have a different idea. I personally feel that you can be deliberately in romance, and you can create a romance,
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
because you can
absolutely.
you can
Sure.
be in, okay, you can create a romance in just few moments, a brief moment, when you have a very perfect cup of
Right.
coffee in front of you. You can find that romance just in that moment with you and your coffee, and that's it. You don't need anything else or anyone else. So the romance also, again, the definition is very, very typical and very different. So we have this misunderstanding, a very confusing and, of course, not so nice kind of misunderstanding about love and romance. Again, another misunderstanding about love is not caring. In love, you do care, but love is not only about caring, or caring someone is not love actually. You can care about things in your life or people, you don't love them. So
Right.
love, of course, it has a care also involved into this, but
Yes.
love
Yes.
is not caring. Okay,
Yes.
so yes, like
Um,
mothers, sometimes they don't care, but
right.
they do
Right.
love.
Right. Now let's understand this word romance, right? I mean,
Yes.
mostly nowadays, and this is very much not when like in the romantic era, when you hear about romantic poets, they were
Mhm.
very seldom talking about physical romance, which is what it means today. Romance has become a euphemism for physical intimacy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, that's it. That's what it nowadays it generally means that. But of course, it's still a large part of romance, especially capital R romance, is like how it was meant in the romantic era, right? So for me, all right, physical romance, this is not a part of my life and hasn't been for a long time as a deliberate choice. For many reasons, but mainly just because of energy reasons, right? And however, romance of the spirit, this is something I practice most assiduously and most joyously and most deliberately. So absolutely, in my dear and special friends, I will make every effort to romance your spirit. Yeah. Yes,
Wow.
Beena?
Okay, this is very,
Yeah.
very interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your
Yeah.
wonderful poem,
Wonderful.
Syl, and of course,
Uh,
the discussion can be very long about it.
yes, but now the astute reader, the astute listener, the astute viewer will say, but so your episode today is about the capital R reading of Don Juan and Carlos. How does this all about love apply to Carlos and Don Juan?
Hmm.
And since we are mostly focused on Don Juan, right, it's more specific to Don Juan. So how does this apply? I shall tell you momentarily. Right, let me just screen share and then we're going to read. Yeah, there we go. All right, so before we carry on with chapter 10, which is where we are starting today, we never got there yesterday, but it's all good. I want to ask the question, does Don Juan love Carlos?
Seems like
Carlos has
yes.
come into Don Juan's life in a special way. Now, he's
Yes.
particularly come into his life as an apprentice, right? Not as a friend,
Yes.
as very
Yes.
specific, their relationship. But Beena, so when I asked the question, do you think Don Juan loves Carlos? Your answer is
Yes, it seems like yes.
all right. Now, in light of all that I've said, keep your answer in mind. as we go
Yes.
along. It's going to come much later in the series. You are going to get extra perspective on this. And it is a very
Okay.
profound thing. So keep it in mind, right? Keep it in mind. And you are going to see how my poem has bearing, but in a very special, wonderful way. It's truly remarkable. And it connects to your poem as well. I won't say which one, but one of yours. Very cool. Very cool. All right. You want to read or you want me to read? Beena? You muted.
Sorry, it was breaking. Yes, it was breaking for a minute. Say it again, please.
Ah. Do you want me to read or do you
Yes,
want to read?
yes, yes, please read.
Okay. Definitely not. I definitely not faves. I'm assuming that is when you read it long, right? Has joined us on IG. Very cool. Hello
Okay.
there. Hello there. Hello there. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And Christopher Abbott says they're confusing lust with love. Correct, correct. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that you cannot combine lust and love. It is possible, absolutely, and it's done. It is done. I don't know about how regularly, but it is done. It can be done and is done. Well, we just need to understand, though, right? And when you have strong feelings and sensations, we have to make sure that our physical sensationality, right, which is the excitement of procreation, which is a very exciting thing to the body, is something that isn't conflated with that of the spirit. This is why discernment, capital D, discernment is so, so, so crucial and critical. Yeah, very important. All right, let's read chapter 10. Did you say you want me to read, Beena? I can't remember.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Chapter 10. In the month of December 1964, Don Juan and I went to collect the different plants needed to make the smoking mixture. It was the fourth cycle. Don Juan merely supervised my actions. He urged me to take time, to watch, and to deliberate before I picked up the plants. Now, Carlos does not capitalize deliberate. Me, I do. Why? Because to Carlos, what deliberate means and what to Don Juan deliberate means two different things, as we're going to come to see, right? Don Juan has much more to when he means deliberate than Carlos does. That's why, to me, it needs to be capital D. And in my writing, it would be capital D. Right? This is very, very, very key. Somewhere there's a video playing, and I don't know where, and I hear the sound. Let me just see if I can find out where it is now. It's the our video playing, and I hear the sound, and I can't figure out where it is now. Oh, maybe it's here. No, can't see that really. Yeah, all right. I don't know. Somewhere it's showing. Somewhere it's playing. Very interesting. All right, so it just, it's very soft on my speakers, but it's like affecting my ear. Oh, all right, here it is. All right, I found it. All right, very good. Very good. That helps me. So there we go. Let's continue. He urged me to take time to watch and to deliberate before I picked any of the plants. As soon as the ingredients had been gathered and stored, he prompted me to meet his ally again. And yeah, ally now this time is italicized by Carlos. Never was before. And instead of the, and the italicization, this needs to be capital A, ally again. Right? But this is not ally in the usual sense. This is ally, yeah, it's got a whole special meaning to it. It needs to be capital A. But okay, so be it. Conventional publishers, which Carlos went through with this, published by Penguin, they don't to that kind of thing. To them, it's like, no, they're too conservative. They can't get it past their brain to do that. Quite fascinating. Anyway, Thursday, 31 December 1964. Now that you know a bit more about the devil's weed and the smoke, you can tell more clearly which of the two you like better, Don Juan said. The smoke really terrifies me, Don Juan. I don't know exactly why, but I don't have a good feeling about it. You like flattery, and the devil's weed flatters you. Like a woman, she makes you feel good. The smoke, on the other hand, is the most noble power. He has the purest heart. Smoke is a he, devil's weed is a she. Okay. A little sexist there, but so be it. It's the view of the times, I guess, and Carlos's view. Anyway, he does not entice men or make them prisoners, nor does he love or hate. All he requires is strength. The devil's weed also requires strength, but of a different kind. It is closer to being virile with women. On the other hand, the strength required by the smoke is the strength of the heart. You don't have that. But very few men have it. That is why I recommend that you learn more about the smoke. He reinforces the smoke, the heart. He reinforces the heart. He is not like the devil's weed, full of passions, jealousies, and violence. The smoke is constant. You don't have to worry about forgetting something along the line. Oh, very wonderful. Wednesday, 27th January, 1965. Now, Beena said, I asked, does Don Juan love Carlos? And she said very definitively, yes. Does that mean he cannot be honest, scrupulously, brutally honest? No. He tells him right to his face. The strength required by the smoke is the strength of the heart.
What love has to do with not being honest?
I absolutely. It's like a duh. However, Beena, in reality, if you watch, people will amend and ameliorate and adjust and trying to look for the word, soften what they say because of love. They think that to be honest when it's like this, when it's not particularly flattering, that goes against love. No, it doesn't. It doesn't go against love. It adds to love. Right?
No, here is something. Yes. Okay. So what I personally feel, my life agenda, like my life rule is that if you can say things appropriately and nicely, then you don't need to be harsh. This is the confusion. Again, we have that when we are honest, we have to dictate it and throw it like a stone or a rock to someone.
Right, but right. So harsh and honest are not synonymous.
Exactly. This is the problem, because we are not comfortable with our self-honesty. Then we throw it out like we are spitting on someone. Like the word, like, okay,
and that's no good.
The smack on your head, or like, okay, I don't know what is the word, like, okay, the other words, like, okay, yes.
Yeah, and somebody's getting a smack through saying about the smack. Yeah.
Sorry?
I say somebody got a smack now because of you saying that.
So then people say that, okay, because you are not comfortable.
Sorry.
You are throwing it out. This throwing it out is becoming like a big huge deal right now, because I'm continuously thinking and writing about it, that why we throw things out, okay, and why it happens. So then when we are not comfortable, because somewhere we don't want to say this. So then it's like, okay, no, but my self-honesty, my integrity, my impeccability demands me to say this. That's why our uncomfortableness, our awkwardness, make it a bit awkward and harsh. Otherwise, you can always, I might lack in my vocabulary. I might lack in my carefulness of how to deliver things, how to communicate things. I might be poor in my communication, but it doesn't mean that there are not ways to communicate anything in the world appropriately. We can do anything in the world. We can say anything in the world. Look at the writers, how they make very simple, trivial, mundane, boring things so beautiful that you fall in love with that. Oh my God. But actually, when you see that, it's a regular thing. Thousands of times you have already experienced and seen that. But the writer or a poet or an artist make it like, oh my God. It really touches my heart. Yes.
Big deal. Sorry, we have to end. We have someone coming on Zoom, and that we have to deal with. So
okay.
Yes, so it's good time.
We were keen to do this.
Wrap it up.
Okay, so I'm wrapping it up.
Yeah,
we were keen
we
to
gotta
do
go.
the
We gotta go.
reading of Don Juan's
We'll continue tomorrow. We'll continue
books about
tomorrow.
Don Juan.
Yeah.
Books about Don Juan.
Yeah.
We will continue tomorrow. So thank you so much, everyone, especially Christopher Abbott, for joining us, and Norma and Joseph and of course Michaela and whoever is going to watch us, and people who joined us on Instagram. Sorry, I don't know your names there, but thank you so much for joining us. Please do join us again tomorrow, same time. We do this live or open almost every day except Saturday. And this is something we continue, and you are always welcome to join us. It always add value, and we feel so happy and grateful that people are coming and join us. By the way, if you are watching us recorded on Instagram or in TikTok or YouTube, please do click like and subscribe to this channel, because by doing so, you're going to train your online algorithm, which is ultimately affect your life algorithm. Choices, deliberate choices, make your world. Please do pay attention. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye, sir.
Yes. 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 Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. 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 Okay. End video and live. And we'll, Beena, come right back. Come right back.
Okay.
Yes.